Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Adult Table, the freeform conversation show between two friends just talking shit where no topic is left off the table and everything is up for grabs. I am of course, your slightly inebriated host, Trav, joined as always by my fellow host, the abominable bro man, the vanilla gorilla himself, the one and only Mr. Joey Fats. How you doing, brother? How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, my Thanksgiving was great. It was spent it in prison. It was awesome.
Mm.
Uh, had a blast. Good times. Good times had by all. Um, no, it was good. It wasn't bad. I actually had a decent, easy night of work. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So my seventh straight year working Thanksgiving now.
I mean,
Uh,
if it was easy for you, then I mean, given what you do for work and you having to be there on that day, then that's the best you can hope for, I think, right?
I mean, listen, it comes with the territory, bro. You know, if everybody bitches and complains about shit they can't have, I'm just happy to have the things that I do have. And if that means I have to work one day out of the year that everybody else is hanging out and not being not being there for it, so be it. It is what it is, because you know what, I get a lot of other days off a year that other people don't. So
Yeah.
it all comes out in the wash, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really, it's just another day.
It
Uh,
is. I got leftovers. I got great. My wife went to her aunt's house, brought me home a plate of leftovers. I got hooked the fuck up. It was great. It was like I missed
awesome.
nothing.
Yeah. So you got your plate. That I
Yeah,
mean, there it is. And
it's all that
and then
matters.
you got to probably enjoy it well within the company of your wife. So
Yes, and I got for stuffing.
for Stoven, Miles Standish.
Miles Standish and the stuffing mines.
Yeah, I hope everybody else out there had a great one. Mine,
Yeah, it looked
my
like everybody
week
had a good
last
time.
week was interesting. I don't really need to get into any of it because some weird shit happened uh,
I mean,
with one of my friends, and he does watch and follow. I don't want to even bring up what it wasn't bad. Nothing bad happened. It was just weird, and it
there's
was
no
hilarious. But
no
I
kid
don't.
diddling going on. Oh,
It, it was just interesting.
yeah.
No harm, no foul in any of it. I I just had to help a friend out in a after an evening out, and things went a little awry, but yeah, no
You
law
know,
enforcement
some
involved, no car accidents, and yeah, we handled what we had to handle in the morning.
everybody's alive. Everybody's in one piece. No harm, no foul, bro.
No worse for wear. Didn't really interfere with my plans, other than I missed the Dartmouth Fairhaven game. Uh,
I
but
mean,
I
those
still got
happen.
to I still got to take a hike like I had planned, early afternoon.
Is Fairhaven good this year?
Well, they beat Dartmouth,
Ooh, that
but it was
doesn't
kind of
say much
close.
though. We don't
Well,
know.
Dartmouth,
'Cause
for a
I
few
don't know if Dartmouth is good either. So
they over the last few seasons they haven't been as good as they were, like 10 within the last, because in like 2015, 2016 they had a run. I think they won two division titles in a row, maybe even three. But
yeah, I was like 10,
kids
9, 9 wins
graduate.
this year. That's insane.
Unless Coach White wants to hold all his best players back uh, from going to
Yeah,
college.
I ran into Coach Martin. I mean, this is going to be 2013 ish. I ran into him, and I told him who I was, and I was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing, Coach?" Like this day, he's like, he didn't recognize me, and he's like, "Oh, I told him who I was." He's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "Got any eligibility left?" Like, God damn! And I was like, "Actually, I was like, I still do have 3 years of eligibility left for college." He goes, "Wait, why do you have 3 years eligibility left for college?" I was like, "Oh, I played in college." He goes, "Wait, you what?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I went to Bridgewater and played for a year. Back in like 2008." He's like, hold on." He goes, "You didn't play in high school and you just went and played in college?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's just like, "Uh-huh." He's
Yeah, as
like,
a walk on even.
"Yeah." I was like, "I was a walk on, and he's just like, "Yeah, that makes sense." He's just looking at the size of you now. Holy shit. And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I know my way around the weight room these days. I'm not a great football player still, Um, I'm not bad, but I'm not great. But
Right.
I was pretty good for never having played before. I did okay.
I mean, that's
Held
more
my
than
own.
anybody else can,
I mean,
than many
I
other
made
people could
a
say.
yeah, I made a college team over kids that got recruited. I didn't get cut, so got that going for me.
Yeah, again, more than a lot of people can say. It's
Yeah, there's
yeah,
a lot of people we know that played 4 years of high school ball that never set foot on a college field. So
it's true. I mean,
it's
back
just
then,
the way
it
it
could
be.
be that way now. I sometimes fill in for Paul and will film a Dartmouth game when he needs a fill in.
Hmm.
Uh, but back then, it was all politics. Like, if you didn't have a connection to the coaches or like the town in general, the higher ups, you probably weren't getting a starting time, even if you may have been better than somebody else. That
Yeah, I mean, I won't name it. I mean, I did play freshman football. I shouldn't say I never suited up because I did play freshman football, but
hmm
I think the only thing I did was suit up. That's about it. Like, I didn't actually like do anything else. I just kind of showed up to practice and just stood on the sidelines because I think like I won't throw anybody under the bus, but like by like week 3, I think I blocked 2 punts. And that's what they always told you, like when you were young and up and coming and all this shit. They're like, you got to get your start on special teams. You got to earn it on special teams, and then you get to being a starter and blah blah blah.
yeah,
He's like, not everybody just walks on as a starter. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, I had no expectations for this. I'm like, whatever. And I blocked 2 punts against our first team, our starting punt team.
hmm
That had 2 guys that were really, 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 really fucking good. And went on to be really, really good down the line too. And neither here nor there, but I blew past both of them 2 times in a row and blocked 2 punts. And I got yelled at both times. And that was when I was just like, all right, guess I'm not playing football then. Like, I just, I embarrassed like 2 good players. And they were like, where'd you learn that? We don't coach that shit here. And I was like, well, maybe you should. Because clearly it's working. And they didn't like that
yeah.
too much.
You
But,
don't want me to block punts? Like,
yeah, and they were like, "We don't coach that shit here," and I was like, "Should probably start," just throwing it out there. And
that's a
but
big. If
needless
you
to
have somebody capable of doing that,
yeah, it's game changing. Like, I
yeah.
mean,
Not to
like,
say it's going to
high
happen
school
every
level.
time, but the fact that it could, like, that can be huge.
Mhm. So that was when I packed it in. I was like, "All right, I'm not gonna quit because I'm not a quitter," but I stuck it out for the 9-week season, whatever it was, 10 weeks, and then, but I just showed up and I went to practice. I stood on the sidelines, waited for them to blow the whistle and say on the line so we could do sprints. I could go home.
Yeah.
That was it. That's all I did. I didn't get it. I don't think I played another snap for the rest of the year, like even in practice. It's like, fuck you guys. So, but that was, like you said, it was a little bit of politics. It was a little bit of, who do you think you are kind of shit. And like, I don't even have the attitude that like I have now. And,
Right.
I mean? I certainly didn't have any like, ambitions or expectations of actually being good at football. It was just something you did when you got to high school. And yeah, they kind of ruined it for me right out of the gate. Like 2 weeks into the season, 3 weeks into the season, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm good. Never mind. I was like, y'all go ahead and just fuck off. Like, I'm not gonna quit. I'm still gonna make you like, pay attention to me and coach me and make me be considered like a part of this team, if you will. But
Yeah, you stuck it out.
couldn't have given 2 fucks less what happened. I mean, we went undefeated that year too. Like I said, I barely
No,
participated.
you can say we. It's not like we're talking about our NFL teams that we follow and like, oh
I,
man, we played so. It's like, no,
honestly,
shut up.
I honestly feel like I'm more a part of the Denver Broncos than I ever was Dartmouth High. That's fucking, oh, yeah. That or at least I care more about the Denver Broncos than I did about Dartmouth High. Like,
Well,
that was a
that's a
funny
fair
thing. Like,
statement to make.
I played. Yeah, I was playing, but I didn't give a fuck if we won or lost. Couldn't give 2 shits. The only reason I was happy that we won was because I was like, oh, maybe we won't have to do as many sprints after practice now. Because I fucking hate running, and still to this day hate running. Hated it in college. Hate it to like it just always like ugh, like conditioning. I'm like, fuck off. Like the worst day of condition. I remember it's still the worst day of my college football career. I remember it was just like, I swear to God, it was like we were in the upside down. That's what it felt like in Stranger Things. Like we were in that second realm because like the sky was dark, it was cloudy, it was kind of cold, but not really. And
Ominous.
they just ran us into the ground at practice that day. Like we just did, like we thought we were done. Like we did suicides, and they were like, all right, we're gonna do snakes. And I'm like, we're gonna do what? And a snake is when like, you sprint down the goal line, like across the field. Then you go up to the 5 and you do like some sort of like, run, like karaoke or a stretch or something like that. And then you sprint down the 10 and then you go back, you do another stretch down the 15. And we're like, all right. So we get to the end, like we do the full 100 yards, which was fucking brutal. And then we get to the end, they're like, all right, run it back. And I'm like, run it back. I'm like, I'm fucking back, bro. What the fuck? Like, and I just remember being like, we did so much conditioning that day. And I remember just like wanting to die. And everybody wanted to die. And then when we were done, they lined us up and then we did more suicides after that was all said and done. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, I don't know. And like, I'm running and I'm like, one of my coaches like, come on, let's go, Balatroni, run faster, this and that. And I'm like, coach, this is as fast as I'm going to go right now. My legs are basically quicksand. Like, I'm in quicksand. My legs feel like slop. I'm like, I was like, I don't know about you guys, but I was like, I don't know how some of y'all motherfuckers are still running right now. I am about to fucking have a heart attack.
Yeah, you felt like you were dragging like two guys on each leg that are holding onto your ankles.
I had like 6 midgets just holding me down. You know? And I'm like, oh my God. But like, it was like in my memory, that is like the darkest day in all of history. Like that, like D-Day wasn't even that dark. You know what I mean? Like at least in D-Day, there was like some sun poking through the clouds. Not this day, not this particular Tuesday at Bridgewater.
No sunshine that day.
There was no sunshine at all. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I do not consider myself a Dartmouth High football player at all. Because like I said, I showed up for my freshman season. And that was it. And I was like, see you the fuck later. That shit was such ass.
You're like, all right, I tried it.
Cadge, though. Coach Cadge was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Cadge was the man because he was just fucking funny as shit and he was a psychopath and I loved it. But I didn't have that mentality back then. I wasn't into like, you know, I didn't know how to like in football, like not to go on a long-winded rant and make this all about football, but like in football, like you need to be willing to, you have to want to physically impose your will on another man for 60 minutes. Yeah. Now, as I got older, I learned how to do that, and I loved it because I got bigger and stronger, especially when you're bigger and stronger than most of the people you're going up against. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Regardless of what side of the ball you're playing on, you got to have that fearlessness and killer instinct of just, okay, either I'm going to get hit and I got to prepare for it, or put my shoulder down and run through a guy, or I got to do all I can to take somebody else down.
Yeah, you have to be willing to sacrifice the body, as they say. And as I got older, I adopted that, and that's why I was able to play in college and play pretty well in college too. Like I was actually, I'm not going to say I was a great college player, but for somebody who had only played once in 1999, you know, for like 2 weeks, I would say, I was given some pretty high compliments by coaches and other players alike, you know, on my team that year at Bridgewater that really did think that I was I had potential, and they were bummed to see me not come back for a second year. But it was fun. It was how do I say it? It was, you had to have that mentality, you know, that kill or be killed mentality. And I just didn't have that as a freshman in high school. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know. I was just like, oh, you blocked the guy. Like I just thought you just stood there and just like kind of held him. Like, you know, I didn't know like you're supposed to like grind him into the ground and like to the point like you want his mom coming out of the stands like with her shoe off, like leave my baby alone, you know, like, that kind of shit. Like now I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like I'm gonna fuck you so bad that your fucking ancestors are gonna feel it. And they're like, what? Like I used to love walking up to dudes pre-game and just like shaking their hands, be like, hey, what's up? Yeah, good game, man. Good luck. Have a good day. Yeah, stay healthy, man. All right, yeah. I'm gonna treat you like Jodie Foster in The Accused for the next 60 minutes, just so you know. And like, huh? Like,
pancake him so hard through a pinball machine that the ghost of Aunt Jemima will be resurrected and say, God damn.
Yeah, saying, God damn. You know, leave my baby alone. You know, so it was fine. Like, and then like especially like even like later on when I got to play in like flag football leagues, like I played in some pretty competitive flag leagues, which sounds kind of stupid, but I actually probably played with, I don't know, probably like a good half a dozen guys that were either like in the NFL at one point or like on practice squads and shit like that. And they were like, so they were really good football players. And we were playing them like, you know, I remember just like playing like one time, like I'm like, I told some kid I was going to treat him like Jodie Foster in The Accused, and he didn't get the reference. And we lined up, and like the kid's like lining up against me, and like looking at his teammates, like looking side to side, like why do I gotta block the angry guy with the mohawk? Like, and he's just like, can someone else go over here and block him? I'm like, oh no, you're mine, bitch. Get over here. And I forklifted him into his own quarterback for a safety on the first play of the game. And I was like, yo, y'all better get some help over here for him. He ain't gonna last. Like he's not gonna survive if you guys leave him by himself. And a couple of my buddies on my team were like, dude, what the fuck? Dude, like these guys are wicked nice. Like, what are you being an asshole for? I'm like, because once that switch flips, dude, there's no turning it off. Like it's just you have to have that mentality and
It's game time.
yeah, because like if you go out there and like kind of fucking half-ass it, like that's when you get hurt. You know what I mean? Like that's how I ended up. Like the first time I ever got hurt, like really hurt playing football. Like I tweaked my knee. It wasn't really even that bad, but like I just tweaked my knee. But I was like I was just kind of like, like playing patty cake on the line. Like not really. Like I knew I was bigger and stronger than the kid across from me, and there was nothing he could do. But he was coming at me with 110%. And I was just kind of like whack-a-moling him, if you will. Like it was like, like Dwight and Angela in The Office where he's just like holding her head like she's trying to like swing on him.
You figured, well, I don't really need to go 100% on my end here.
Yeah, like I just was like, yeah, okay, like I'm just gonna kind of fucking chill here, and it's gonna be fine. And Patriots get a big punt return. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's gone to the house. Punt return for a touchdown. There it is. There's your first touchdown of the game. Did I take? Oh shit! I think I took the Giants 7.5 though. I think I took the Giants to cover. That's going to be a problem. Oh well.
It could. I mean, still very early in the game.
Yeah, I knew I kind of should have taken the Patriots. When the Patriots start returning fucking touchdowns on special teams, that's a Bill Belichick staple. Like you can pretty much sign them up. Like it's going to be a blowout from here. Like this is not going to be a close game, but. Oh well, there goes my $10 parlay. I made some money. I'm making money though on football, more than I made on NASCAR this year, so I'm doing okay. But not much. It's marginal at best. I'm like breaking even. But anyway, enough about football. We don't have to continue.
Well, yeah, we're gonna try and keep it tight tonight, folks. It'll be a shorter episode than usual because of the game. Both Joey and I have interest in it. Joey, of course,
there's a vested interest.
Yes. Mm-hmm. On my end, personally, because I'm a Patriots fan. On Joey's end, he's one of the hosts on Row 1 Seat 1, which you guys should also like and follow.
A Patriots hater. Mm-hmm. So go Giants. Let's go G-Man.
But I like the smack talk you give. I respect it. It comes from a place of knowledge. It's not just pure vitriol. But there's a fair amount of vitriol there.
There's a very fair amount of vitriol in there. Some would say an excessive amount, but
I've always appreciated it because it comes from a place of honesty from you, and it's always entertaining. So I never take like what you say about the team personally because it's just like
I'm not saying it about you. I'm just saying about your team.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Sometimes I do go after Patriots fans, but I usually don't mean. But 90% of the time, it's not the ones I'm talking directly to. Because the ones that I'm talking about don't engage me.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's fans of every team that can be super obnoxious. The Patriots.
Oh, trust me. If I had a nickel for every Broncos fan, I wanted to punch in the dick.
Yeah, and there's no shortage of obnoxious Patriots fans. I'll be the first to admit that as well. We had it very good for a long time and got very cocky. So
I have been in more fights at Gillette Stadium than there was battles waged in Europe in 1944. So. Yeah, I know a thing or two because I've done a thing or two.
Mm-hmm.
Not proud of a thing or three, but whatever. It is what it is. Can't help it when you're 21, 22 years old. You do dumb shit sometimes, and it just sometimes be like that. So,
yes.
But yeah, I've been in a very fair amount of fights at Gillette Stadium. It's actually really funny. The one time I didn't get into, twice I didn't get into a fight. Once I was with my wife, so I was on my best behavior, and it was a Patriots Lions game that I was given free tickets to, and I had club seats. So like, I was I was not trying to act a fool. And my good friend who's since passed away, but my friend Leo, he gave me his seats one day.
You don't want to fuck it up for him because then he can lose his.
I was not trying to get Leo to get a phone call and be like, "Who the fuck are you giving these seats to?" Like, we're gonna reject your tickets if you keep fucking let this guy back. And so I was on my best behavior, and I was with my wife. So I was like, and it was a team I didn't really particularly care about. It was the Detroit Lions. I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, just going to a game to see a game. I got free tickets.
Yeah.
And then the next time that I didn't get into a fight, I almost did, but I was with my uncle in 2011, and we went to actually the Giants game in Gillette Stadium, and I had my Eli Manning jersey on. My cousin had just passed away, and his sister, my other cousin, had bought him tickets to the game. But he passed away before the game, and my uncle and I ended up going instead. and we went and we were sitting there and like it's just me and my uncle Nick. He's the coolest fucking dude ever. And like we're just sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm like, I'm not gonna be a fucking dickhead here. I'm like, I'm not gonna be an asshole, like whatever, just gonna go and enjoy a game. So we're sitting there and it's a back and forth game. It's pretty tight. And I don't know if you particularly remember this game, but the Giants played them pretty well. And it was like 4th and 10 from like I want to say like the 12 or 13 yard line with like a minute 36 to go in the game. And the Patriots were down 3. And I'm like, all right, just hold the 3, tie it up, and then the Giants can come down, kick a field goal, and win it. Well, Brady hits Gronk in the end zone for a touchdown. The fucking if there was a roof on the building, it would have come off. It was unbelievable. And I'm just kind of like looking around, like, no, this is annoying and this kind of sucks, but whatever. I'm just going to enjoy the moment. Like, when do you really get to be here for like kind of like like a big moment like that, if you will? Sure. So I'm just like kind of like just enjoying it, taking it in. And then I look up the clock and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, minute 36 and the Giants got 2 timeouts. I'm like, this Patriots defense fucking sucks, bro. It's like Giants are going to drive down and win this thing. Sure enough, like 4 seconds left on the clock. Eli Manning hits Jake Ballard right in front of us for the game-winning touchdown. And I'm just like, oh, shit. And I'm like, oh, no. And there's this guy sitting behind us, and it was his wife and I think his daughter or his 2 daughters. And like, I don't know what it is about football games, but the daughters and the wives always get way, way, way too mouthy. And it's like, and I'm looking at the dad and like, I'm me and I'm looking at the dad and I'm looking at the wife and the daughter and they're running and like, fuck you, you fucking fuck you, all this shit. And I'm just like, and I'm just clapping, like just turned around, clapping, like, doing this and like whooping it up. And the dad's just like, oh, whatever, bro. He's like, you were quiet the whole fucking game. Now you want to talk shit? And I'm like, well, yeah, we just won. Like, of course I'm going to talk shit now. Like,
I can now, and it makes sense for me to do so.
A lot better. Oh, we got to fight. Yeah, fight. Sweet. Jackson Dart just got decked going out of bounds. And they did not like that. We were, so I'm like, yeah, I'm like, obviously I'm going to talk shit now. Like, cat's in the bag, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like we won. Like, now would be the time to talk all the shit because.
What's up, bro? Took a crap on your desk.
Yeah. What's up, bro? Took shit on your desk, bro. What you gonna do, bro? And so the wife and the daughter start getting like super mouthy with me. And like she said something, like she went to like smack my beer out of my hand. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, first of all, bitch, keep your hands to yourself. She's like, don't call me a fucking bitch. And I'm like, well, if the shoe fits, sweetie. And like I said something like that, like toots or something like that, like something like mildly disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was funny, but it was a ribbing. And like they're giving it to me, and I'm like, and I'm not doing anything. And the husband's like, and I'm like, listen. And I'm looking at the dad, and I'm like, listen. I was like, do you really want to see your dad get his ass kicked right now? And the dad's like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, listen, bro. I'm like, you better get your dogs on a leash, or I'm gonna fuck you up. I was like, I ain't gonna hit a woman.
Right.
I was like, but I will motherfucking knock your ass the fuck out.
You're the only one here out of this group that's harassing us right now that I can, not feel terrible about striking. So, and
so the daughter's just like, so the daughter said something to me, and I was just like, shut up, bitch. I was like, shut up, bitch. I was like, you the type of hoe that I would take home at 1:30, nut in your fucking face, and never call you again. Like something like that. And then now I'm trying to get the dad to fight me. You know what I mean? Like, and then the mother's like, fuck you, better not. It's like, and then there was another time my brother and I went to a Houston Texans game. Same guy gave us tickets, not his club seats, but gave us tickets, and we got there, and again, this woman like grabs my hat off my head and like fucking like throws it. And I'm like, really? And like, she's probably from like Chicopee, like, smokes like 6 packs a day, like got that real, like, I gotta fire up my stoma voice, And I'm just like, and I said the same thing to the guy. I'm like, bro, do you really want to get your ass kicked over your wife over here? Like, bro, like, I'm like, get your dog on a leash, dog. Come on. Don't call my wife a dog. I'm like, no. I'm like, tell your wife not to fucking put her hands on me. I'm gonna bang you the fuck out. Like, guys, like, the dude's like, it's just a fucking game. And I was like, no. I'm like, I'm all for it. It's just a game. Like, you can talk all you want.
Yeah,
like,
but that doesn't mean you tell that to your wife who.
Yeah, you take my hat off and throw it like 6 rows up again. Like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, that's just how it is. Like,
in this day and age, and even back then, it might have been considered assault to do that. Like, so.
Well, they security came over and had they got removed. The
Mhm.
wife, like it was the Patriots Texans playoff game of like I want to say like 2016 or 17, something in there. Brock Osweiler was the quarterback of the Texans, so it had to have been like 16.
Yeah, so
And
before Deshaun Jackson.
yes, Watson. But yes.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, hey, at least you didn't call him Deshaun Foster like I always do. But yeah, then they ended up like having her removed. My brother and I are just like, dude, we're like, what the fuck? Like, why is it always the females, dude? Like, so those are the only two times I didn't get into a fight, but I almost did. But I think cooler heads ultimately prevailed, i.e., security. And like the funny thing is like both times, like the sections were like clearing out around us, and everybody was like, "Yo, bro," like to the guy with the wives who were talking shit. Like they're looking at me and like I'm as tall as the guy who's standing a row above me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm as tall as him, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, and I ain't got like, I don't got layers on. Like I'm just this big. Like this is me being me. And he's and like everybody else around him's like, yeah, bro, like I don't know, you're on your own, bro. Good luck. Like, like everybody's like backing away from him. They're like, hey, just so you know, like we don't have nothing to do with this guy. And but I was with that was the one time I was with my uncle. Then me and my brother were like, we could have thrown down if we wanted to, but we were like, nah. They ended up getting removed, so it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. To say like when I tell people like I would root for ISIS before I root for the Patriots, like I'm only half kidding. And I have the experiences to back it up. And everybody thinks because they know me and they see how I am, they like everybody knows me. They're like, oh, you're definitely the antagonist. And then anybody who goes to a game with me is like, wow, like I've had like several people be like, dude, people just like they just start shit with you, and I'm like, yeah, every time. I'm like, I'm not the asshole here. Like I am not the asshole. I'm all for good John back and forth, like trash talking, like that's fine.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but yeah, you're not getting in people's faces and like overly gloating,
fucking hats on and shit like that. No, like I'm not like I'm just sitting there celebrating my team winning or the team I'm rooting for winning. Like,
yeah, nothing wrong with that.
And it's just, but people can't handle it, and
no, they get too many beers in themselves before and during the game, and then they see that and they're like, well, fuck you. It's like,
yeah. And like, I think the alcohol definitely plays a big part in it because obviously,
absolutely,
we're not drinking because we don't want to be, because we want to be, we want to have our wits about us. We're drinking because we want to make bad decisions, then have something to blame it on. Because we're overly emotional children rooting for grown men playing a children's game. Like that's what it comes down to. But yeah, it's funny, like the dynamic. It's why I really don't go to games anymore because I've been to enough, or like I've seen it all. Like there's really nothing to gain by going to a game for me anymore. In fact, I feel like you miss more when you're at the game, like especially if it's like a 4:00 start in Gillette or a 1:00 start, because like a 1:00 start, you get there, you watch the game. By the time the game's over, the 4:00 games are already started. By the time you get out of the parking lot, and you get home, like you're lucky if you're home in time for the 8:00 kickoff.
Yeah.
And so you miss like a day's worth of football. And obviously you miss the full slate of the 1:00 games because you're at a 1:00 game. 4:00 game, you go hang out at Bar Louie or whatever, or CBS Sportsline or whatever's up there now, and like, go watch some of the games leading up to kickoff and everything else. But then like you get in, and again, like now it's a 4:00 game. Now you're not getting home until after the Sunday night game is over, and you're only watching that one particular game. So it's just like, I don't know, you miss so much of a day. I like being at home with my Sunday ticket, my red zone, and I can flip and back and forth between whatever games I want. And
no line for the bathroom. You already got your drinks and food.
Dude, drinks are free. Well, cheaper.
Yes.
I'm not spending $13 on a Bud Light, or whatever. Like, and I don't have some assholes, fat hog fucking wife, fucking breathing down my neck, being like, you fucking think you're tough? You ain't tough. Like, lady, I babysit fucking convicts for a living. Like, I don't know. Like, you might have been one at one point, but
yeah.
I mean, probably are. But yeah, trust me.
I'm white trash and I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you don't scare me, lady. But it's always the females. It's so weird, especially if they have a man with them. They feel like they get that like extra like, and then they got to prove themselves. Like, I'm a chick who likes football because I'm one of the dudes. And you're like, nah, you just like blowing dudes, like.
And you don't have to you can just be a woman who likes football and not be obnoxious about it and feel like you're one of the, like, oh yeah, I'm just like the guy. It's like, no, you're a woman. You can still enjoy football. There's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely. My wife sits and watches football with me every Sunday. But you know what my wife would never do? Go to Gillette, find a guy wearing another team's jersey, and start talking shit because she knows that I'm going to be there to back her up, or
Yeah.
thinks that I'm going to be there to back her up. Like, no, it's called having class and acting like you've been there before. But a lot of these broads, they don't. They just sit there, they drink, and they get fucking hammered, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck you, fire up my stoma." And you're
I'll
like,
say
you know,
whatever I want and not have to worry about it because I'm here with a man who will
Yeah, exactly.
protect me. But that's not an excuse to fucking just start shit with people. Like,
No, and that's the thing. Like, that's what I feel like people just do. They do it just to start shit with you, and it's like, okay, like I get it. You want to rip, you want to rip it on another team's fans and jaw and do all that kind of shit. Fine, by all means, go fucking nuts. But they always find a way to take it too far.
sometimes.
It's like they said South Park. Oh, you ladies.
Oh, Kelsey, we're not hating on broads. She's being sarcastic.
No, it's not even hating on. Like I said, I mean, listen, I can hate on broads. It's fine.
It's particular ones, but
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we had a couple topics we'll talk about. We can probably go through them quickly if you want to try and get this done a little bit after 9.
Yeah, let's we can rip through this. We're good. I mean,
So,
we're good right now.
Tell me, Joey, of a movie that came out in 1999 that you just recently saw last night.
So I texted you because I thought this would be a funny talking point for the show tonight. Because again, it was like kind of a light week news wise. Like
Yeah.
there's just there's your typical like Trump derangement syndrome bullshit going around, and everybody's kind of losing their shit over this, that, the other thing, because what else do they have to do? But there wasn't a ton. So my wife and I I had this bright idea, and I don't know where it came from, but I asked my wife, I was like, you've seen Cruel Intentions, right? And she's like, yeah, of course. She's like, I haven't seen it in like 30 years or whatever it was, 20 years, but she's like, yeah, I've seen it. She's like, it's been a long time. I was like, oh. She's like, why? And I was like, oh, I've never seen it, and like I just saw like a thing on it, like a TikTok or something about it the other day, and I was like, oh, you know what? Like I've never actually watched that movie, but it was a huge, like hit when we were in middle school and early high school.
Mm-hmm.
And there was there was the Sarah Michelle Gellar like lesbian kiss scene, and like
her and Selma Blair. That wouldn't. I mean, if social media existed back then, that would have gone viral.
That was the reason everybody was like, "Dude, you gonna see Sarah Michelle Gellar, another chick making out, bro? It's so sick." And they're like, "All right, it sounds pretty cool." But obviously, I never watched the movie because like I was a guy and it was a chick movie, so I never watched it. And then asked my wife, like, "You want to watch it?" And then we put it on. It was like hour and 35 minutes long. I'm like, easy watch, no problem. We'll knock this out and it'll be a good time. So I ended up watching it, and boy, was there some familiar things in it. Most notably the like I think we talked about it earlier in the text. Like, was this the birth of step porn? Because this really feels like this was the birth of step porn.
I mean it,
or like it gave like Cruel Intentions walked so step porn could run.
The concept had always been there. I believe in even like earlier like porn stuff, but it wasn't like a big thing. But this was still at a time where that idea was taboo enough to see it in a mainstream movie like that with all those big names in it for the time. For them to like even have that be a big part of them. I mean, it's a huge part of the plot of the movie. To be like a big focal point. It was like, wait, this is actually happening in this? Like, this is a concept that's involved in it. It was like, holy shit. And that's why, when we were texting, I was like, it's not the genesis of that concept, but the advent of it within pop culture and being like openly talked about to a degree, and it took a while for it to metastasize, but now we're at the point in time where that is like the top like Pornhub subject, like
it is, and it's the worst thing is like, and like I don't even like listen, I'm not a big like I don't care for like the whole step fantasy thing, like it really doesn't do anything for me. the problem is like you're almost forced to watch it because it has the most production value of any of the categories. Like all the best porn stars are in that. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the best like production stuff is in that. Like the best film, like cinematography, if you will.
Yeah, because it blew up.
Yeah, it like became like an insane fetish thing for a lot of people. And like I'm going back and I'm watching this movie from 1999 and I'm like, this is like wildly familiar. I'm like, holy shit, like this is crazy that this was going on in 1999. I'm like, no wonder why this movie was so fucking like edgy at the time. You know what I mean? Like it was like
I mean,
it broke barriers.
It handled. I mean, it handled that stuff pretty fast and loose. Like for a teen, like thriller slash drama for 1999, the topics they were talking about, not just including that, but everything else was like pretty. It was very adult, like in terms of the subject material. Like it's like, oh, when this is teens doing this, or like college students, like because it was like a private college or whatever in New York,
a high school. It wasn't even a college, it was like a high school.
Oh yeah.
I think the characters were all like early, like mid early teens.
Well, again, I watched a brief because it's been over like 20 years since I've last seen it. So I watched a brief synopsis on it before we started the show tonight, and unfortunately, it was all like AI handled. Right. So the narration on it was bad. It was poorly written because it's clearly done with like Chat GPT or something, and it was very fast and hard to keep track of. But I got the gist of it, and I was just like, this is like an episode of like Silk Stockings, but it's teens in a private school, and everybody's terrible in it, with the exception of like a couple of people that get duped, mostly like Reese Witherspoon and some of Blair's characters.
Yes.
But all the other people involved in it are monsters.
So Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, I think she was the oldest one in the film. In terms of like the character age, her character was 17.
So movie. Definitely, yeah. This was like
high school. So this was like pre-college, like
it
like
was
even college
definitely a Catholic like private school because
like,
they had the church on the campus and the girls wore the plaid skirts.
Yeah, and then if the whole reason I knew a lot of sorry, hold on. The reason I knew as much about Cruel Intentions as I do, mostly came from Not Another Teen Movie. You know, because they did
yes.
It was Varsity Blues, Can't Hardly Wait, Cruel Intentions, and what was the other one?
10 Things I Hate About You, but then they also dipped into the 80s John Hughes stuff with some of the nerds.
What was the one where the girl walks down the staircase? You know, for the glow up scene, if you will. That was like a big was that 10 Things I Hate About You?
I think so.
I'm trying to remember, but yeah, it was like that was another one. You know, when she's walking down the stairs to kiss me, you know, and like that was that whole scene. But like that was what I knew most of it, and like I knew mostly about Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, like through Jake's sister in Not Another Teen Movie, where she's just like, I just want a guy to take a dump on my chest.
And that actress in that movie was great because she was
nailed it, dude.
She looked pretty damn close to Sarah Michelle from the movie.
Absolutely,
played the character like an exaggerated version of it, and
like had the like the little cross on the thing and everything. Like that was so. When she keeps her cocaine, which is like wild to me that like 17-year-olds were like had a coke problem.
Oh, dude, the end of the movie, because I did see the clip of that. I was like, oh yeah, she had her rosary beads, and the cross unscrewed, and it was a coke receptacle with a little spoon, and then she gets revealed at the end. When
and the dad just looks at her.
Dude, his reaction is the best. He walks up to her, grabs her hand, unscrews it. A good amount of the coke falls out. She's looking shocked, and he just goes, and then the wildest part, I am not mad. I'm just disappointed. Then he puts it back together, screws it back up, and it's like, you wouldn't just take that, like,
just lets her have it. Like,
yeah,
like what, like. You just found out, like, if I found out if I got discovered by my parents when I was 17 years old for having a fucking coke problem, my parents would have fucking murdered me on the spot. Like, I was still keeping like dryer sheets in my glove box to cover up the weed that I wasn't even smoking at the time, like that my
Yeah.
friends were. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, doing the spoof, putting the wet towel under the door.
yeah, like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, my parents would have fucking murked me. And I get it. It's supposed to be like, you know, like rich kid problems and all that shit. But like, I like that shit was so fucking funny to me. And like, and I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, this movie is like kind of fun. Like, it was actually really well written. It was good. It was like just fucked up enough to be like, what the fuck? But it was like, it wasn't so fucked up where it was like completely unbelievable. But then like the only thing that made it like, I wouldn't say hard to watch, but like kind of made it like, I don't know, not unbelievable, but a little unbelievable, was that like Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, Sebastian,
Ryan Felipe.
Ryan Felipe, sorry. He literally just, he talked like an autistic GameStop employee who actually got laid the whole time. Like, there was one line in the thing when he's like, and like he's like talking to his buddy, and the guy's like, the gay kid's like, you know, the gay kid that he uses to set up the other gay kid who's in the closet.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, someone's bad mouthing me to Annette and blah 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 blah. And it's like, and he's like, well, he's like, do you know who it is? He's like, if I knew who it was, they would be in a momentous amount of pain right now. And like, you're like, what? Like, no one fucking talks like that except fucking autistic weirdos at GameStop.
Well,
that's how people talk.
Like, he was never that good of an actor. He was just a pretty face. He looked a lot like Justin Timberlake, and
yeah. He had the look.
But everybody in that movie, except for the couple of decent people, are backstabbing each other left and right. It's ridiculous how convoluted it gets.
It really was. Like, it was actually like kind of tough to keep track of all the schemes.
And the main premise is, Catherine, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, is his stepsister, who he like just meets at the beginning of the movie. And she's like, oh yeah, she's living here with us now.
Yeah.
Makes a bet with him that if he can sleep with Reese Witherspoon's character, who like wrote an article for 17 magazine somehow
about how she's a virgin and waiting for, marriage or whatever.
She's like, if you can bag her, I forget what was in it for him. Oh yeah, if you can, if you can bag her, I will have sex with you. But if you can't within this allotted time limit, I get your car, which was like a super fancy old
56 Jag, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a sweet ass car.
Yeah, it was cool.
But that is the foundation of the plot, and then everything else that happens around it is just fucking absurd.
Like, if you can lie to this girl and take her virginity, then I will fuck the shit out of you. And you're like, well, this seems like a win-win. But if you can't bang her, then I get your car. It's like, do I still get to bang you though? Because like, seems like an even trade, Like, I mean, I don't know. It was kind of like, I'm just thinking of it from like prime Sarah Michelle Gellar, was like, like who didn't want to bang Buffy at one point. So it was just like, it was funny though, because like the way he talks throughout the whole movie. And I'm like, bro, there's no fucking way this dude gets any pussy talking like this. No way. Like, just none. Like, nobody talks like that. Nobody talked like that then. But I think I think they were trying to portray it as like
the character. He was the guy that never got rejected by anybody, and he's
society talks, like.
I mean, looking back on it now, it's not written that way, but I think his character was just like this pretty boy guy who got everything he wanted and can, bag any girl that he wanted, no problem.
Like, he sounds like he's like the kind of dude I feel like that would like overuse the term milady. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. But, I mean, that's how the character's written. It's just his performance is so bad.
It really kind of was, right?
It sounds like just some dork, like you said, like some autistic GameStop employee, which I think is all of them. But in this case, he was getting chicks left and right.
Yeah, he was bagging dimes all over the place and like, whatever. But it's just funny because like, so did you, outside of Selma, whatever Blair's character, Cecilia, I think was her name,
Yes.
Outside of her, did you actually see him bang any other chicks in the movie? Like, you don't, like, because it starts off when he's like with his therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and then like he posts like the therapist like new, like he takes pictures
Daughter's
with his
nudes.
daughter.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
banging on the window like it's
Yeah.
the end of the Graduate. Like, ah!
Yeah, exactly. Like she was the and wasn't that the same lady? Was that Swoozy something or whatever? She's a weird name.
She's
Swayze.
been. I couldn't. I saw her in the clips, and I was like, I know who. I can't remember who she is.
Like, oh, and like what was the movie where the older chick goes undercover in high school? Remember, and it's like it's so painfully obvious, and then like in Not Another Teen Movie, she's like, it's her. The
that
therapist.
was yes.
And she's like, could you guys point me to like Mr. Keller's room? And she's like, oh yeah, it's right down there on the hall. And she's like, sweet dude.
Yeah, and that's the one that
walks
the Catherine character in that movie makes out with instead of the Selma Blair, and it's super wet, and her teeth come out like. That was cool.
That was cool.
Which is hilarious.
So my wife, you know what fucking sucked about that is my wife and I went to watch. We watched Cruel Intentions, then we went to watch Not Another Teen Movie directly after it.
Good call.
And but like it's not streaming anywhere. You have to buy it on Amazon.
Okay.
For like $2.99.
Yeah, I mean that's a bargain.
No. I was like, no, fuck that. I have it on DVD. Fuck you. Like I'm not paying for the 10. Like it's one of my favorite fucking comedy movies of all time.
It
like
still holds up.
It is the best. To me, it's the best of all the spoof movies. Like it's better than Scary Movie. It's better than although Scary Movie 1 and 2 are pretty legendary, but
yeah.
Not Another Teen Movie, I think, is the best one of all because it hits so many different. It covers so many different movies.
And it covers a couple different decades too, where Scary Movie was kind of those were more of the movies of the times, whereas Not Another Teen Movie, they covered most of the modern ones, the big ones, but then they also did like a little bit of the John Hughes 1980s stuff here and there.
Right.
So they cast a little bit of a wider net, and all made it cohesive. I mean, shit, yeah, dude, that movie's great.
I mean, Not Another Teen Movie. My favorite one is still fucking like I still love was it Reggie Ray who's supposed to be like Billy Bob from fucking what's it called Varsity Blues.
And he's just like getting CT out the ass like
CT
and the coach God damn it, get back out there.
The coach is that is probably one of my favorite fucking scenes when the coach is just sitting there and he's like God damn it, Weiler, I said to throw the ball, God damn it, he just keeps saying God damn it over and over and over again, like just chewing like this huge piece of gum.
Throwing shit around. He's not even based on any specific character.
No,
he's just a stereotypical angry like Texas football coach, high school football coach. Just
then he gets in there and then the whole scene where they're playing like the Foo Fighters song and like There Goes My Hero, and it's just and he just overthrows the fuck out of everybody.
Yep.
And the guy calling the game is like, that's the worst throw I've ever seen, ever.
And great cameo, fucking Mr. T.
Yeah.
You just got to get out there, believe in the ball, and throw yourself.
Yeah. Was that radio? Was that what that was from? Like,
I think so. Because he was just like the.
They put the helmet on the retarded kid. They're like, go out there, be yourself, like believe in yourself. Like,
yeah, and the other team doesn't get. They just destroy. They basically kill it. He gets ripped apart, right? Like.
Yeah, he does. He gets like fucking drawn and quartered. It was fucking great, but yeah, that whole like Cruel Intentions thing was so funny because like there's this kid who does. I'm sure you've probably seen him. He does like Instagram and Facebook stuff. And he like talks like he does like GameStop, like he pretends like he's like what every GameStop employee hears, and it's just like, and he's like this like wicked like autistic fucking like, well let me tell you something, my lady, like he's like basically talking like JP from Grandma's Boy, like,
yeah.
Like the same lingo, like but like he's way more autistic, and like everybody knows, like we're like, oh shit, like. We all have that friend or like knew that kid growing up. We're like, yeah, that's real. Like that's a really well done fucking character.
That is an archetype. Yeah. Yeah.
And like, it's all I could think of when I was watching, Cruel Intentions, because it's all like Sebastian. It's like, Sebastian. It's like, oh yeah, he's so smart and devoted, and everything he does, he sees through 110%, and he's devoted. And you're like, bro, this kid's 15 years old. Like, how fucking smart could he possibly
And
be?
also,
Like,
throughout almost the entire movie, he's not a good person.
no,
He
he never really is a good person. He just gets caught up at the end. You know
only
what I mean?
until
Like,
the end he realizes he's an asshole and that he loves Reese Witherspoon's character.
yeah.
And then he
Sam
gets hit by a
Sokella flips
fucking
the
cab.
script on him. Yeah, and then he gets hit by a fucking cab in the middle of a fight. And it's like, why did they like bring the random, like the token black guy? That was another question I had. They bring the token black guy out.
Well, because he liked
He like just
Cecile.
sees him in the street.
No,
and he's
Sarah
just
Michelle
Sarah Michelle
Cap
Gellar sets
sent
up, like,
him there.
Yeah. He's like, oh, he hit me.
No,
And then
she
it's
said,
like-
"Oh no, he's been hooking up with Cecile."
Yeah, but then he says that. But then Sarah Michelle Gellar tells
Oh, does she say
Jordan
that he had?
that Sebastian lost his shit and he hit me, and that's what, and like she like claims that like he hit her. So then like the black dude just like goes out and, like, white knights for Sarah Michelle Gellar for no reason.
I thought,
And,
well,
like-
maybe the synopsis I watched was off because again, that was all AI spoken and narrated. They said it was because Sebastian did get Cecile drunk and took advantage of her.
Yes,
And
that doesn't taste like iced tea. It's from Long Island.
yes, from Long Island. And,
Like,
and Ronald, and
All right,
Ronald,
Cosby, settle down.
yeah, and Ronald was the black guy who was teaching her cello.
Hello, right?
And
Who-
they liked each other, but
Yeah,
the
they
mom
were
didn't
kind of
approve of that. But that's a
Yeah,
side
'cause
thing. But
she
I
was like,
believe
I will not have my daughter hooking up with a black man. That is
Basically.
blasphemy.
and yeah, he's the only black guy in the movie.
Yeah, in New York City of all.
Right.
Really?
But
okay.
I believe, well, at least in what I saw, she said, "Oh yeah, he's hooking up with her," and maybe she did say that. Oh, also he hit me. That wasn't involved in the synopsis I watched, but you just watch it, so you
that was
know
part
better
of
than me.
that was part of the phone call she makes to him at like 3:00 in the morning or whatever. And then like he's just like they're like just walking down like Broadway, like through Central Park or whatever.
Yeah, it's like right in
Middle of
front
the
of Central Park.
Yeah, and he just happens to like see him, and he's like, Sebastian. He's like, oh hey, what's up, Ronald? He just starts swinging.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a problem with him at all. But
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know, whatever, dude. Like, what's going on, man? Like, how's cello going? You know, like, how are the arts, my fine Negro friend?
Yes.
You know, like they had to qualify it in so many different ways, but it was so fucking funny. And then like they just start swinging on him, and like, and then next thing you know, like, of course, then like, you know, he's hanging out outside fucking the apartment building where Reese Witherspoon's like aunt lives or something, and he's like, please tell her, like, you need to know everything, like, and then like she doesn't come out, and then finally she comes out the next morning to like she knew he was watching her the whole night, like he was waiting, and like all this other shit was so stupid. And then like they get into the fight in Central Park, and like the cabbie's just like, ah shit, like just fucking like barely gives him a love tap, then he just dies on the pavement.
oh,
like,
he goes right over the windshield, over the top of the car, and then off the trunk, and then hits the ground, and then presumably
least-
hits his head hard enough where it kills him.
the least violent car crash I think I've ever seen in my life. Like
Where
Look,
somebody gets
there was that one movie where it was like, I think it was like Brad Pitt or something like that, where like the character walks across the street, gets like hit into another car that's oncoming, and gets like ping ponged like up into the air.
Mhm.
Oh shit! Like,
Snatch, probably.
was that? No, I don't think it was Snatch. It was a different movie, but something like that. But anyway, it was just like that. I was like, oh fuck! Like, yeah, that I could see. Like, that seems like a car accident that would get somebody
And
killed.
also, he had the foresight to wrap up and give Reese Witherspoon his diary, where he weirdly like made it like serial killer like
Yeah,
entries
Brother
where he cut out
Bones.
pictures, and the handwriting
I'm a
is like
bitch.
scrawled and like it's not like legible text. It's like written in like shapes and shit, and he has
Yeah.
handwritten drawings.
It was like it was written by a 14-year-old girl, not a 15 or 16-year-old playboy, if you will.
It's weird, and he's like, just have this, and just in case I get into a random fight in front of Central Park and get hit by a cab and die. Like, now you can put all this out there,
Yeah, right. Just in case something happens to me, here it is. Like,
and then publish it into smaller books, and then hand it out at my funeral.
Yeah, which also very weird. Like they're like, like Catherine's like eulogizing him, and like some girl like whispers into some girl's ear, and then they all start whispering. Then they all get up and like walk outside. And they're like,
Yep.
"Come outside, check this out." Like,
And then that's when, yeah, the that dumb shit that we just talked about happened.
And then like, and it was the most like nothing burger ever. Like, oh my god, like Catherine's a slutty bitch. No one knew this.
Like,
no
yeah,
one
she's a
thought,
terrible person.
Yeah, no one knew this. Like, no, not like you mean to tell me like this bitch fucked like probably at least like 12 or 15 of the guys at that funeral, and none of them talked to each other. Like, listen, man, I know what it's like to be a 14, 15, 16-year-old guy. You tell your boys everything, like too much stuff. You're like, yeah, I jerked off 3 times before I got to school this morning. Like, really? I only got jerked off twice. That's great.
Especially when you're in high school, whether it's private or otherwise, rumors spread fast.
That and like not like just, but like think about like these dudes that like these high school kids that can't keep their mouths shut when they're banging their hot teacher. You know what I mean? Like that shit gets out all the time. Which actually makes me wonder, like, how many times does that not get out? Because we probably only know the tip of the iceberg with that. But anyway, that's a different conversation. But like these dudes, like, like you have kids in high school and they're like, I'm gonna need rotator cuff surgery by the end of this because of all the high fives I'm giving my buddy
right?
for banging my teacher.
Shit, I'm gonna need Tommy Johns.
Yeah, like I might be putting my baseball season in jeopardy, but I don't care. I'm going to stick my dick in my English teacher. Like,
you know what? I've already won the World Series as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
like,
then the end happens, and we don't see. We see Catherine get humiliated, but we don't see her face any actual repercussions other than that.
Not like, what happened? Like, oh, her popularity took a hit. Oh no, like, bitch, you're rich. Just move to a different town and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and then Reese Witherspoon is somehow inherited his car. Yeah, she's just driving it.
Yeah, like what was that? Did she like come to collect on the bet or something? Like, I don't know.
Did he write a will and he bequeathed it to her? Like, they don't explain that either. It's just like, nope, the end.
He definitely bequeathed it. He bequeathing it.
Or if you ate at Arby's, you're gonna beef queef.
Yeah, beef queef. Get those curtains flapping, bro.
Exactly. We have the meats.
We've got the meats. But like it was just such a silly movie. Like it wasn't a bad watch. Like I'm glad I watched it because like I could see like I had to like kind of like try to put myself in the position of being like, all right, if this was 1999 and I was 14 watching this, what would I think? So I tried to like, like kind of hone that in. Sure. But it's so hard to do when you're just like, bro, what? Like,
no, I'm 40 and I can't relate to any of these. I couldn't relate to them back then either because I'm not
honestly,
a rich
private school kid. I could have like I wasn't even like as a high school kid that like had friends that went to rich private schools. I'm like, this isn't how this worked.
Yeah, no,
none of this worked like this. Like,
besides the uniforms, it wasn't at all like that. Granted, it also wasn't in New York City, but no,
it was fucking wild. But it's just like, oh, like. These dudes are out here and he's like, this will be my greatest conquest yet. And you're like, I'm like, bro, like I was just trying to like, I'd have been fine with like an over the pants handy in a movie theater at that point. And meanwhile, this guy's like, I'm going to get this virgin from GQ magazine and I'm going to bang her. I always get what I want. And you're like, shut the fuck up. Like, no. You're not even like the fucking quarterback of the football team. Like none of this is believable. Like
no, he's a skinny ass fucking
you're a fucking
twink looking guy.
You're a goddamn twink. Like the one guy that had any muscle mass in that movie was gay too, which I also found funny.
Right.
They made the one dude that had fucking, had any kind of muscle like and like athleticism to him, the homo, and you're like, mm-hmm.
Yep, but what bugged me out this morning, I thought you sent that text to the wrong person because I didn't see it till this morning, and you're like, yeah, so I watched Cruel Intentions last night. I'm like,
yeah, I left that, like, I kind of probably should have followed that with, like, I kind of want to talk about this on the show because it's funny.
I was like, well, why? Like, because it's not like in the zeitgeist, right? It's not like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's just like, cool, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Okay.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm sure there's a reason. I'll find out later because I just got to work.
But like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sure there's a follow up to this.
But yeah, that's like if I hit you up and I be like, "Hey man, I just watched Ghost. Never saw it before.
Cool.
I think we should talk about."
No, it would have been better if I at least put like, hey, I want to talk about this on the show because it's like obviously it's a 25, 26-year-old movie that I just saw for the first time that was a pretty big like pop culture icon at one point.
Yes.
And it might be funny to talk about it now, like having seen it for the first time as a almost 41-year-old man. But I didn't even lead with any of that. I was just like, so I watched Cruel Intentions this week, and you're like, okay.
Well, I had to think about, well, I had one just parked
Okay.
when I got to work. I was like, well, I have to wait until I go on break and take a shit. It was like, I forget what I was just like, yeah,
This
for
is
the
gonna
time
be-
it was kind of messed up. Like,
Like, what am I supposed to even fucking say to this, Jerry? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, without any context. And again, if one of the stars of it was like involved in something right now where it was news, like, remember that movie? It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, just, no, man, just happened to watch this movie this weekend. Thought you should know.
And it was, I don't think I saw it in theaters. I definitely saw it at least once on like video after that, maybe twice, but it wasn't one that
man.
like I was like, oh man, I can go back to that one because I enjoyed it.
I didn't realize like how ridiculous that text looked until like you responded to it like a day later. Like,
And you were like, oh yeah.
and I was like, oh right, I forgot to follow this up.
Oh shit, I sent just that and it was like at this time of night.
Travis Reed is just like, the fuck, bro? Like, what kind of shit you?
Yeah, I opened the text. I was like, expecting you to be like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm good for tonight or tomorrow, depending on when you sent it, and maybe you got an idea for a topic. Nope, just hey man, yeah, I just watched Cruel Intentions, and that was it. And I'm like,
Like, first of all, what 41-year-old man texts his friend like, dude, just watch Cruel Intentions? Like, first of all, that on its face alone is like, what the fuck? And then the no context follow up, like just like 36 hours of just no follow up whatsoever. And then you text me back, you're like, yeah, it's pretty fucked up at the time. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I'm reading back, I'm like, I started dying laughing because I was like, oh Jesus Christ. I was like, I completely forgot the fucking, this is supposed to be like a conversation. I don't know, like if I was waiting, like I think I was like, oh, I'll give it 5 minutes, see if he responds. And if he doesn't, then I'll add some context to it so he's not just reading it.
no, I whenever
Like,
you texted me, I just didn't see it
Yeah, just like,
until this
you're
morning when
tired.
I checked my text and I was just like, well, that came out of left fit, like.
It's an odd thing to say.
Because it'd be one thing if it was something we referenced like in a previous episode, like just randomly it came up and you're like, oh, I actually watched it now. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just like out of the, I'm like, I don't know what to say about it. Like,
What
it's
the
not the
fuck?
weirdest thing he could say, but it's also pretty fucking random. So,
Yeah, it's definitely a fucking weird pull right there.
but you know, I was like, we'll see where this goes. Like,
All right. I mean, let's see what happens. It's probably gonna be funny. So
Yeah.
oh man, that like looking back at that now, that was fucking hilarious because I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I completely forgot to fucking like provide any shred of context to this text. It's like, dear diary, I watched Cruel Intentions this weekend.
it's going into your weird diary where you have like pictures of people that you hand cut out and
It's got like a hand-drawn picture of Travis, was just like, I'm a bitch written underneath it. Like just all sassy and shit. You're like,
yeah,
what
all the words he put around it, like liar, drug addict, fucking.
coke habit. Like, you're like, oh, okay. So I guess we're just pointing out the obvious.
Yeah, now look to the next page of this drawing of her her rosary beads.
And I
That's
love
where
how,
she
like,
hides her coke.
yeah, and like I love how like you never see their parents ever, or like even like a maid or a housekeeper or anything. Like, there's all this shit going on. Like, you got Ronald the black dude, the token black guy, like hiding under her bed, like in a fucking thong G-string thing with like a little
Yeah.
feather, whatever.
You really don't see them in like class or anything. They're just in.
Well, I
They're
think it was
on
supposed to be,
campus.
like, summer break. I think it was
Oh,
over-
okay.
I think it was leading up to the school year. It was over the summer, but like I don't know, like you just never see like the only adult you ever saw in the movie was Cecilia's mom, and then obviously the therapist, and what was the aunt
Yeah,
that was like hosting Reese Witherspoon's character, and she's like, "Don't you two go off getting into any trouble now."
yeah. Other than that, these kids are just left to their own device. Like they're just doing
Yeah,
whatever they want.
like and like I don't know, like was that like the fantasy in '99? Was this be like super rich living in New York and just like being able to like snort lines of coke and bang as many people as you could and like not give a shit about school, or like the only thing you cared about school was being popular? I feel like that was pretty much like the end of the '90s vibe. Like just being popular was like the whole thing, right? That was it. That was
Other
like
than the coke, that was the same thing in the '80s because teens in high school in the '80s weren't doing coke. It was far too expensive for them to have, unless they were super
like,
rich.
in the '90s, like yeah, maybe that was the thing. Like even in the '90s, like it was just like there was the super rich.
At least more accessible to people that had, some money. Because they weren't smoking weed in this movie. At least
No,
but they were underage drinking and doing blow. So
yeah, they definitely were. Definitely were doing some fucking blow.
I mean, the underage drinking is it okay? I mean, all high school kids do that, and they have rich families, so they have a liquor cabinet and the parents are never around, so they're raiding that shit.
Yeah, there was no way. Like I don't know. Like it just there was no adults in the whole movie. The only and like the adult figures got bullied. You know what I mean? Like Cecilia's mom like got bullied.
Yeah.
By Catherine and Sebastian, and like the therapist got bullied. Like, like who are these people?
It's like they just bent the knee to these unruly kids, and they were like, "Oh well, I never." Or like, how did they got mad, but they never did anything about it.
Yeah,
which leads to the end where, everyone is mad at Catherine, and her dad gives them the, well, here's your Coke vial back. But she doesn't face any real consequences other than being ashamed and embarrassed and potential. But there's no like follow up on that. It's just, like, okay, you see her get humiliated and called out on her bullshit, but other than that, you don't see, and her face any real consequences.
You got Bittersweet Symphony playing in the background, and it's like,
God.
Cool. Little Verve. Was that the Verve pipe?
That was
the Verve, I think.
Just the Verve.
The Verve.
Yeah, Verve pipe was it? There were two bands at the same time with the word Verve in it.
Yeah, which is weird. What was the Verve pipe?
I forget what their hit song was.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Oh, The Freshman.
Oh yeah.
Only freshman.
Yeah, Jesus, that's a song about abortion.
Right?
Yeah. Good song though, in terms of like.
It actually wasn't a bad song at all.
I mean, I like that better than Bittersweet Symphony. That one to me is a little bit pretentious.
I like Bittersweet Symphony. It's a good song for the, but it's not one I would ever like put on.
No, it's well made and everything. I think the strings put it a little bit over the they're being a little bit too orchestral. God damn it. Where the band I don't think normally is.
Right.
So it's like, oh well, we put this in because it sounds good and it's fine. But then again, the Verve pipe really didn't do anything after their hit either. They might have had like a modest hit after.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them did anything.
The Verve maybe more in the UK because they are British.
Yeah, they were big British.
But Verve Pipe are American, and they didn't really do anything else here after that either.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, the Verve Pipe was like more like a rock band, where like I feel like the Verve was more like you said, like Oasis, which I don't consider.
Yeah, I think I've heard Verve Pipe's other stuff, and they're more like alternative, like post grunge alternative.
Yeah.
And then that was their like somber song. And
yeah.
That became a hit. That resonated with people, and then after that, it was just like
that was their version of "Behind Blue Eyes" by Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, so written by Fred Durst.
Yeah, written by the great lyricist and songwriter of a generation, Fred Durst.
I think we forgot to mention it. The bassist of Limp Bizkit died recently.
He did. I did see that actually. That was fucking awful. I was like, no, like I don't know who he is or what his name was, but no.
He he was the original. Very good bassist.
Yeah, well, I think him and Wes are both extremely good musicians, but you just didn't know it. It's like, we always talk about
Well, Wes, we knew about Wes because yes. Well, Wes
some of
is
these
like the
guys,
guy who stands out in the group because he's a performance artist. He always has the crazy outfits.
yeah.
But no, he is a much better guitarist than what he plays in Limp Bizkit. Like Limp Bizkit is pretty basic.
I love Big Dumb Face. Like the whole Duke Lion CD was awesome. There's a couple of songs on there that go fucking hard as fuck.
It took me a while to listen to that because that was at the time when I was like, Limp Bizkit's kind of lame. I don't really like anyone in it.
Now. Limp Bizkit went from being like the biggest, bestest fucking band in the entire universe. Like, remember when they were blowing up ships at the Playboy parties in Florida and shit?
They were massive.
And they were huge. And then everybody was just and then one day everybody was just like, you're kind of fucking gay. We don't like you anymore. Go fuck yourself. And everybody was like, yeah, why did we like these guys? They are gay. No, they're like, no, seriously, we're not gay. And Westmore was like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he had not wanted to be in the band for a long time because he was like, this isn't what I like to play. He's like, I'm making money from it, but this isn't,
Well, that's why he had Big Dumb Face, and I think he had a couple other side projects too. But
he's actually really good. And rest in power to the bassist. It's sad. Like, he was found in his bathroom with blood coming out of his face. It's I don't know if they released all the details.
Did he slip and fall?
I don't know. He had a history of some drug issues, so it could have been. It could have been a combination of maybe he got back on the wagon and then fell off the wagon and then hit his head. But I mean, either way, that sucks. But now I'm back. I've come full circle. Now I unironically like Limp Bizkit again. So it's,
same.
Because they're just out there having fun on their.
I mean, I never stopped listening to Limp Bizkit, even when everybody was like, they're gay. I'm like, well, if they're gay, then I'm a fucking homo.
then bust out that dick, brother.
I ain't stopping listening because I remember being like, what was it? It was 2003 was the Summer Sanitarium tour. It had to have been end of 2003. And summer of 03, and we went and basically Limp Bizkit got booed off the stage during I think it was I don't know if they were in Michigan, if they were Detroit or something like that. And they basically got booed off the stage during that tour, and they were like, "Fuck you, we'll be back." And they were everybody was like, "Please don't." And I remember even when we were there, we were I remember me and a couple of my buddies that went, we came off the floor and to catch a breather because we've been down on the floor for at that point Mudvayne, Deftones, and Linkin Park. And we were 18, 17 years old, whatever. So we were, full of piss and vinegar, but still, we were all right, I'm going to take a breather here real quick and not die watching Limp Bizkit.
Well, at that point in time, they had reached such heights, but their whole shtick kind of ran its course, and there were other new bands coming out that did things differently, and it was we're kind of tired of your shit, Fred Durst. Not necessarily the rest of the band, but him. He got a little too big for his britches.
I think it was the feud with Creed and Scott Stapp that kind of pushed people away because everybody really liked Creed at the time. And I think even though I think Fred Durst might have been ahead of the curve when it came to Scott Stapp, what an asshole he was, what a fraud. But nobody was nobody bought, everybody was nah, man, we still like Creed. And it was they're still cool. Fuck you, Fred Durst. You know what I mean?
Well, because Durst was the outspoken loudmouth asshole, and at the time, Scott Stapp, you didn't know everything about him behind the scenes, and it was just no, right. He's the singer of Creed. They're a Christian band, and they rock pretty hard. So, Fred Durst, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And we were no, no, I don't no. And then everybody disowned. I didn't buy it. I still like Limp Bizkit. I stuck to my guns with Limp Bizkit. Everybody's they're fucking lame now, and I'm all right, man. I'm not saying I'm running to go, see their next show or anything, but you can't deny, $3 Bill Y'all or the Chocolate Starfish. Those are fucking classic albums that will live in nu metal lore forever. There was a period of time where it was who's the bigger band, Korn or Limp Bizkit? And somebody'd be Metallica, and they'd be Metallica sucks. They haven't released anything good in 15 years. Shut up, faggot. that was like, it was crazy to think that like at one point, like we actually had a society that deemed Limp Bizkit bigger than like Slayer, Metallica,
Even
Megadeth.
Korn,
And
those were the big two of the new metal. Korn
like
was
nu metal,
massive
when
as
nu metal
well.
came
Like,
out, it was fucking huge. It hit hard.
mm-hmm.
And then Slipknot came along and kind of, I think they took the obviously. I think they own the throne now for new metal.
Yes, although they didn't reach the heights, but because I don't think like TRL was really as prominent as it was when Slipknot came out. Maybe
Well,
some
Iowa came out what in '99? Was Iowa?
no,
No. Was it earlier than that?
no, it was later because their first album is the one that their self-titled came out when I was like a freshman or a sophomore.
Oh yeah, Iowa came out in 2001.
Right. I think their first album, their came out in like 2000 or 99.
99 was the
Right.
was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, which was the one that had.
But you know they were definitely way heavier than the other two. So it took a little bit of time for people to be like, "Oh, I'm kind of more into that now." Yeah, there was a shift in the sounds, less rap metal with like hip hop type vocals along with the screaming.
This fucking first album was fucking sick.
Oh, I've listened to that forever.
Spit It Out is probably still one of my favorite songs.
That's a good. I mean, Wait and Bleed's the one that I got introduced to them with.
Yeah, I think that was everybody's introduction to it.
But yeah, Spit It Out's great. 666.
Yeah, Sick was great. Another classic. Like that whole album just fucking slays.
Oh, I listened to that ad nauseum back then.
Yeah, and then Iowa came out, and you were like, oh shit, like, yeah, this is pretty good.
I kind of liked Iowa, but that's also when I started listening to the more. That's when I started getting into like melodic death metal and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, wait, this is better. Like this is, or at least to me right now. But I mean, Slipknot and all that other stuff was the gateway for me to appreciate the more, extreme.
Yeah, like metal. People Equal Shit was great. Heretic Anthem was great.
Mm-hmm.
Left Behind was fucking awesome. Like all these songs were fucking great, dude. Like their first two albums were fucking.
I mean, dope. Yeah, I recently revisited the first one in, well over a decade, and I was like, yeah, you know what, this still holds up. Like it's the musicianship is there. It was well produced for the time. I was like, no, it's still solid. I don't know if I'm gonna listen to all of it again anytime soon, but I was like, no, you know what, nice little trip down memory lane.
Yeah, the Subliminal Verses was good too. That was a good one. That had Duality on it, which is one of my favorites.
Right, and some of their later songs after Iowa I did appreciate, but I was still not like, oh man, yeah.
Honestly, I think my favorite album, like through and through, like one through like the end, is probably All Hope Is Gone. Huh. I think I listened to that album probably like all the way through several times over, and I really, really dug that one.
I don't know if I've even heard anything off of it. So
you've definitely Psychosocial's on it.
Yeah, maybe.
You've definitely heard Psychosocial.
I probably have.
Oh, dude, if you hadn't, just go put the video on as soon as we're done, and then text me after when you watch it. It's dude, that song fucking rules.
It sounds familiar.
So I didn't know that they had come out with an album. That was their 2008 album. I didn't know they had come out with that album. And one of our buddies, I don't know, do you remember Joey Death? Joey Sylvia? Everyone called him Joey Death. He was a couple years younger than me. Lived right on the kind of like across the street from you, like on the other side of Clinton Street.
Maybe
it was like Nikki, Joey, Kerry, like the Sylvias. They had the what was the kid that lived next door to you there that we always called Joe Pesci?
Oh, Nick Pereira.
Yeah, Nick. So like across like Clinton Street from Nick's house was where like the Sylvias lived.
I'm sure I do. I just don't remember them because they were, a few years younger than me.
Younger than they were like my little brother's age, I think, like Keithy's age. So
Mhm.
They were like 5, 6, 7 years younger than us at best. But I remember like Joey. I worked with Joey at Phase, and I remember the summer of '08. And this is so funny about how this all came full circle. He's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know why everybody's like sucking Slipknot's dick. Like, oh, they're not even that fucking good. Like, Joey is one of, and I like Joey. He's a great kid, but Joey is one of, if not the, like, he's one of the biggest elitists that you will ever meet. Like, if he's into something, you cannot, and nobody knows more about that thing than he does. And he like talks down to people about it. And like metal was one of his things. Like we called him Joey Death for a reason. Like he was a big metal kid. So he would like treat everybody as like, if you were like, oh yeah, Metallica is the greatest heavy metal band of all time. He's like, Metallica is not even metal, bro. And you're like, nah, pretty sure they are. And he's like, yeah, okay. I've got some stuff you should listen to.
Yeah,
like,
I've dealt with gatekeepers, and
yes,
he's beyond
exactly.
that. But this is he's an elitist where it's not even gatekeeping at that point. It's like whatever you say you like, he's gonna shit on it and say he has something that.
Oh, he knows everything better. And again, and it's like, and he was like that with everything, with cooking. You know what I mean? Like he was a chef, so like he ended up
everything that he was into or thought he that he liked was superior to everyone else. That's obnoxious.
Yeah, it was wicked up. But I used to go back and forth because I was like, you're not gonna fucking tell me. Mm-hmm. Like, you know how I am.
Oh, it's sometimes it's fun to engage with those people because
it is. It's actually a blast because it's wreck. It's pure wreck. You know what I mean? Like you just get going and you're like, yeah, all right, fuck you. And it's like, who can say fuck you the loudest? You know what I mean? And so he was like, anyway, we're working at Phase one day, and I'm working in the kitchen back in the summer of '08, going in. I was waiting to go play football at Bridgewater, and I was just kind of had like a job, like just, dicking around. And he's like, I don't know why everybody's sucking Slipknot's dick. He's like, everybody's like, oh, they got 12 members in their band. And he's like, that doesn't make them fucking good. And like, he's ranting about Slipknot. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm like, yeah, Slipknot's cool. Like, they got some good shit. Like, whatever. Had no idea they had just come out with a new album, right? So fast forward to like, I want to say like after the new year, like somewhere in 2009, like spring of '09, I was working at Knuckleheads. And I get there to start my shift, which I was working at the door. I usually got there around like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and start checking IDs at the door, doing my thing. And I get there and it's kind of dead. And there's like the jukebox is still playing because the band hadn't started yet. And dude, I just hear this fucking riff and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like listening to this song and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, this is heavy as fuck. I'm like, what is this shit? I run over to the fucking jukebox. I tap it and see like what like the now playing thing. Like you remember like the old like the digital jukeboxes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is now playing, and I'm like, Psychosocial by Slipknot. I was like, this is Slipknot. I'm like, dude, this fucking rules. So I went home that night. I went on fucking YouTube or whatever, pulled the video up, and I'm like, dude, like ripped my fucking face off. Like there's been 3 instances in my life where a song has ripped my fucking face off the first time I listened to it. Number 1 was Battery. Number 2 was Psychosocial, and number 3 was The Executioner's Tax by Power Trip, where I was just like, I just sat there like stunned, like, where has this been my whole life? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I've had those moments with songs before. Yeah,
Psychosocial is definitely up there, like on that realm. Like it's a fucking banger of a song, dude. You've definitely heard it before. You had to have. I mean,
I'm looking at the thumbnail for it. It came out 16 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it came out in 08, so it's been a minute.
I definitely wasn't listening to them back then, so
I wasn't either, which is funny. Like that's how I found it. So that I ended up finding it, and then next thing you know, it became like one of my all-time. And then I bought the new album, and the album, All Hope Is Gone. The whole album goes fucking hard in the paint. It's a great album, actually. Probably some of their best work, and I think that might have been the last album that they recorded with Joey Jordison as the drummer before he died. Don't quote me on that, but it was. I think it was probably his best work for sure.
He was a phenomenal drummer.
Unbelievably good. And but dude, that whole album was wicked good. But Psychosocial is one of my all-time favorite songs. Like,
well, I will give it a watch after this.
Yeah, definitely do that. But
speaking of which, I have to piss. Would you? And we're like,
yeah, we went way over. Which is fine. Like,
well, not way over. Like,
oh, we went way longer than we thought we were going to or wanted to.
Well,
Or
not
both.
way. It's not like we're at an hour 40.
No, no, it's not. But we could drop it there. I mean,
I think so. Yeah, because then I could.
we can do South Park because we have one episode of South Park for the conclusion of the season, and
Mhm.
I'm on vacation next week.
Yes.
I won't be here the week from tonight. I will be in the Caribbean,
You enjoy
and
it?
I will. But we could probably just like kind of bundle it up because this week's episode was good, but I don't think it was. I don't know if it's worthy of necessarily like its own.
I enjoyed it. Granted, like I told you, I was hemmed
I
up
did
when I
too,
watched
actually.
it. So that'll give me an opportunity to rewatch it again. Slightly before we have another show, and
Yeah,
also it'll be closer to because next week the finale should be happening, and then we can do a double recap on those and a
yes,
season recap.
we can do a season recap because the Turkey Trot episode was good, but it was funny. Again, it felt like more home. There was less Trump, Satan bullshit,
It
and
felt
more of the boys.
it felt funnier than most of this season.
They still went hard in the paint after Pete Hegseth, which was funny.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I don't care. Like
With the Highway to the Danger Zone was like Pete Hegseth
that was hilarious.
is a fucking douche. Like, dude, that's awesome.
That was actually pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, it was. I got a good chuckle out of that. Like, I'm a big Pete Hegseth guy, but yeah, that was funny. That was like, all right, you got that. That's funny.
Yeah, no, well done on that one.
Yep. I don't know what their beef is or like what axe they're trying to grind here with South Park with the Trump administration, but they are definitely going hard in the paint for it. So anyway, I'll let you take a piss. We can end it there. We'll be back in 2 weeks? 2 weeks.
2 weeks, folks. We'll
'Cause I'll
see you
be
in
back.
2 and 2.
Yeah, I'll be back on Sunday. We'll be back to doing the show Monday. So
Yes,
We'll be
not
good.
next Monday, the following.
correct.
Indeed, sir. So yes, I shall see you again right here, right then on the 15th.
Yes, sir. I will be here.
Indeed. All right, Joey, you have a good night. Great
All right,
talk
bud.
as always.
Absolutely, dude. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
All right, everybody, thank you for watching. You also have a good 2 weeks until then.
Peace out.
Later, bitches.